Joining us now for more on this is Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. Good morning, Congressman. Thanks for joining us. I mean, as you well know, Florida front lines working with President Trump to carry out these deportations. Then last night you had the Fort Myers City Council in your own district vote to prohibit Fort Myers from police from helping with ICE agents because they said it would harm the immigrant community. I mean, what's going on with all of this?
Well, first and foremost, President Trump is delivering on the mandate he received from the American people, which is deporting criminal aliens, preparing to send people back to their home countries, deporting other illegal aliens, because what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did was a flagrant violation of federal law, and we cannot house more than 10 million illegals in the United States, period, point blank. Number two, you got this federal judge who wants to take it upon himself to decide that he knows more than the American people, than Congress, because the law is actually clear congressionally when it comes to illegal immigration. And he wants to say he knows more than the Supreme Court, which back in 2014 gave the President of the United States plenary power when it comes to immigration and deportation procedures. And then you have council members in the city of Fort Myers who think they know more than the president, the Congress, the governor of Florida, and the state legislature, which just passed legislation that allowed for police officers to essentially be deputized by ICE in order to assist with the deportation proceedings of illegal aliens. These officials that don't understand their role, which is to implement federal and state law, not circumvent and create sanctuary cities, they simply need to be removed from office if they're not going to follow the law. It's that simple.
And you're on the House Committee on Oversight and Accountability. Is there anything your committee can do to sort of rein in control of these judges who continue to try and essentially run the country, telling the president what he can and cannot do in regards to these deportations? Well,
there are members right now who are considering anything from being able to sanction, maybe censure some judges. Some are even talking as much as going through the procedure of impeachment of federal judges, because what we have is we have a wing of the federal bench that is rogue. It's been that way for decades now in the United States, where it does not matter what the law says. It doesn't matter what the Constitution says. It doesn't even matter what a president might say. They have their own agenda, and their agenda is not been elected. They do not represent the will of the American people. When it comes to immigration, this is a crystal clear, open and shut case. People are going to be sent home, period. They cannot stay in the United States.
Yeah, and I have a feeling immigration is going to be pretty important on the campaign trail. So in addition to obviously serving in Congress now, you've also announced your intention to run to be the governor of Florida. You got a pretty big endorsement there coming right out of the gate. President Trump's already sold on the fact that you are the best option to succeed Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. But what should the people of Florida expect from you? I mean, would you take it right to the Fort Myers City Council, who are trying to defy state law and federal law in blocking immigration enforcement?
I would, absolutely. And I think people need to understand that even if you go back to COVID-19, at the beginning of COVID-19, I remember I was in the same chambers of the Fort Myers City Council when they tried to bring mask mandates. This is back when I was a candidate for Congress, and I was a member of the state legislature at the time. And I told this council, there are new members on there today, but I told that council they did not have the authority to issue mask mandates in the city of Fort Myers. That would be a violation of federal law and state law. It wasn't their purview. Only the state legislature could enact such a policy. Going forward to today, the same rules apply. The state of Florida has already passed legislation about what law enforcement is allowed to do with respect to the 287G program and working with law enforcement. So prospectively, as the next governor, and trust me, Governor DeSantis isn't going to let this go, but prospectively, these council members need to understand they have a responsibility to execute and implement state and federal law, not to run against it, not to create a sanctuary. In my view, that's a dereliction of their duty and their oath of office. And if they don't reverse course, they should be removed.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.